Wawa and Ray catching them out.
Yeah, I feel like the task to shut down the Lam is definitely Dharma and definitely down to Wawa and Inua, because the Destructive Deluge, as he's trying to go in with that big push of his ultimate as well, that's going to be the showstopper for the side of Gen.G, I feel. That's the shutdown that they need. But also, in terms of the shutdown that Elevate needs to do, is definitely focusing Rock in this game too, right? They need to make sure that Azar gets basically above and beyond the Lady Sun in this one.
Yeah, but that's a tough call to make, right? Because at this point, Clue is just going to stick to Rock like glue. And 2v1 situation all the way. Ivalis, he has his work cut out for him. It's going to be a very tough job. Until he hits 4, it should be in favor of Rock in the laning phase all day.
It should be. But we'll see if they decide to go for any kind of like lane swaps that we've been seeing for the past few series, right? Where we see some of the clash lanes go down into the farm lane to kind of just go toe-to-toe, try and stunt the growth of the enemy farm lane in that way. Or it's going to go back a little bit to basics where we see the farm lanes all just go down into their respective roles and lanes. But game 2, Elevate definitely need to pull some of the stops out here. And I feel like this draft is pretty good, but again, I don't think draft was a problem in game 1, right, Ken? It was just the execution of letting Gen.G gain that room to breathe.
Yeah, it's really about small little things across the game from the start, right? So, example, how many camps do you steal away from your opponent's jungle? How many last hits do you have on your creeps? These little things do matter, and it compounds. The effect compounds, and that's where you get your lead from. And this is where you can then force it in and say like, hey, I want to get a kill. First blood is mine. And so this laning phase is really important. Don't miss your last hits. Try to steal as many camps as you can from the opponent jungle.
Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely what you want to be doing, is trying to get as much resources going into the likes of the Lam, making sure your Azure Golems don't get stolen away here. We see that Roche is not... Oh, he gets it as well! Level 1 Azure Golem goes over to Rock. That is just a violation of all kinds.
Yep, G6 is definitely shaken, and here's the thing, right? It was an early smite coming out from the side of G6, and I think because they got notified that he had no smite, Rock just went in for the grenade and somehow got it.
Yeah, I mean, to grenade and outsmite your opponent is definitely a flex, to say the least. But maybe the Nuo will give a lot more of a oppression in the mid lane, right? Because again, those boxes, just getting that CC, being able to push people away, kind of like the shirt in that respect, being able to kind of move your opponents around wherever you need them to be.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Ivalis needed to be the guy who's willing to catch a grenade for him, but he didn't. He was not near. And now, at G6, he's in a poor position because he now has to share the lane to try and get the 4. He's not even 4 yet.
Yeah, no, being down that Azure Golem is definitely going to stunt the progress and the farming of the Lam, right? It's very interesting because he needs that cooldown reduction. He needs to be able to have those spells up and ready when he needs to. But thanks to the side of Gen.G, they kind of starve that potential for the first few minutes. I mean, it's back up in 9 seconds. Do they go for a second wave of denying the Azure Golem? Who can tell?
I don't think they need to, right? At this point, I think all Rock needs to do is to ensure that he has additional lanes to farm, right? So mid lane already given to him, and this is great for the side of Gen.G. Now Rock once again gets access to the farm lane as well. So 2 lanes of farm, he's amplifying his growth pretty much. He's at level 5. Azar is trying his best to keep up, but there's nothing more he can do. The jungle is completely for the side of Rock, and all Ray needs to do is to stop this G6 farm from happening, and job is done.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely giving like a 50-50 split in terms of the jungle for Rock here on the Lady Sun, just to kind of just amp up that progression in that late game hero, just get those resources on as soon as possible. But it was nice to see that Sunset offer the taxi service down to the Azure Golem to make sure they're able to claim it for themselves, Elevate this time. But is it going to be enough for them to actually take a team fight soon? I mean, it seems to be like there's a bit of a brewing up here in the mid lane. Nua missing a few of those skills onto the squishier heroes on the side of Gen.G.
It's not going to happen now, right? At this point, early game, level 6 for the side of Ray, he's pretty much tankier than what is necessary. So Elevate, I don't think there's anyone else besides maybe a G6 and hopefully a Zar who's going to be able to deal some significant damage against Ray.
Yeah, Azar looking pretty low already. I mean, it's not the best place you want to be in. He does have the healing behind the fountain there. Using the set sail as a defensive measure really shows that Wawa has definitely the domination in the Clash lane, right?
Yep, it does. So at this point, I think the lead is pretty strong for the side of Gen.G, even though it looks a bit close in terms of the financial outlook. Look, Gen.G definitely ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they're neck and neck for now, but Elevate just slowly ahead in terms of the goal lead, only a few hundred, which is not a lot, because now the neutral objectives are up. I can imagine that there'll be a team fight just waiting to happen, looking to get that pressure into the farm lane to make that Tyrant a bit of an easy secure here for the side of Gen.G, looking to be the playstyle here. But okay, we do see Wawa. He does base check there, goes in onto the Huon, but is able to use the target ability from her abilities to keep herself alive, but keeps him off the Tyrant more importantly.
Yeah, and this is where resources are very important, right? So every single thing that Gen.G is forcing Elevate to do is hurting them. So the fact that, look, Azar, right before this Tyrant take, he took so many hits from Rock, which means that he was at risk of using the Infinite Vastness a little bit too early in the team fights. So that's you know, deficit number one. Deficit number two, the fact that they had to burn out Ivalys's Unending Sorrow so early, and there was no fight. It was literally because Ray was just doing too much damage. So that's two big elements out of the picture. Elevate knew they couldn't take a fight. They couldn't even contest for the Tyrant.
Yeah, couldn't contest for the Tyrant. They lost the Tyrant. They got the Overlord, but there was a trade for the T1s on the opposite side of the maps. We do see Gen.G gets a bit of a lane lead into the farm lane, whereas we see Elevate giving a bit more pressure into the Clash lane thanks to Wawa's absence. But right now, it's still looking neck and neck here. We're just waiting for that first blood to come through. Ray gets in trouble there, but the Dream Roll is going to be able to renegotiate his position into this team fight, keeping away the Lamb because he's taken a lot of damage for now. We do see Azar up in the sky with the Infinite Vastness come back down to try and protect the T2. Nice set sail into the backline there for Elevate. There's first blood going over to Clue. Clue down, Ray down. That is a 2-1 trade for the side of Elevate. Definitely what they needed, but it's going to be neutralized there by Inua taking the second kill over to Hyde.
Yeah, you know what? If they didn't give that kill away, Elevate would have been in a great position because they were recovering at this point. But right now, because they got the trade on the side of Gen.G, it's not looking too good. And, you know, gold-wise, it's difficult to keep up. Look, I like this. Let's take a look at the replay. The bolt from the set sail. I like that knockup, right? But the thing is, they needed to do much more. They needed to make sure they cut their losses. Right here, if Elevate, no one else on Elevate died, it was the perfect situation.
Yeah, that ultimate roll there coming through for the Lady Sun, just keeping herself alive. So Rock played very well in his escape there. But I feel like Elevate probably could have done a lot more with that mid lane because they had the Vanguards coming down there. Obviously, the replay was happening. I didn't quite see what happened there. Maybe they defended it very well for the side of Gen.G. But even after that, those equalizing kills, the goal lead is pretty much neck and neck still. Neither of these teams want to give over any kind of resourceful lead, especially when they got the likes of the Lung and the Lady Sun on their side. They need to be equalized to make it an equal fight.
Yep, and right away Mitsura is going to be taken out here. Wawa might be the trade though, so...
Oh, speaking of trade though, yeah, Jizzix looking pretty low. It's going to be Rock getting the kill onto a Jizzix. Hyde may be his second victim. Double kill going over to Rock once more. One in game one, one in game two. He's following the footsteps of Dowdow right now.
Yep, it's a 1,000 goal lead, but it's 1,000 too much on the side of Elevate, right? Gen.G now, look, there's a level advantage on the side of Rock. He's level 11, Azar is level 10. And if you take a look at the gold lead, it's funny because 3.7 thousand, he actually has lesser gold than Azar, but they're doing so much better simply because he's one level ahead.
Just one level ahead just means his skills are just a little bit more damaged in there. The set sail, I don't think he was actually meaning to land into that wall there. I think it might have been just for a bit of a mistake on the side of Elevate, or could be for the detriment of his team. But Wawa getting the kill onto a Jizzix is going to be really good here for Gen.G as they take the T2 down into the farm lane as well. Looking for a very clean game two from the side of Gen.G once more.
Yep. 5-man strong looking knocking on the door for this T3 here. If they get it, it's great. But any more kills right now is going to be the death of Elevate. They cannot afford to give away any more lives.
No, I mean, again, another love letter seeming to go over to the side of Team Vitality. Gen.G was just like, hey, we're at the base at 8 minutes, guys. We're trying to do you proud here. Trying to say, look, we are a contender here. Ray may get caught out. He does not he has the dream roll still, sorry. So he's able to get out of there. But oh my god, Mitsuri was so low there. Thanks to Rock getting the kill once more. Another kill going over to Rock onto Everest as well as Hyde. He is a monster in this farm lane.
Yeah, I mean, Clue just saving a day so many times here. He's one of the main reasons why Rock is able to fight, even though he's underfarmed against Azar, right? Sure, they have the level advantage, but the fact is, Clue is a second life for Rock, and he has stuck to him essentially really like Clue. And when it's a 2v1 situation, you can't do anything. Mitsura, I like the fact that there is potential burst, but him and G6, there's no way they're going to stop that T3 from falling in the middle as well.
Yeah, not at all. It's looking very shaky here for Elevate, and this is the replay that kind of just thrown it all about. We was thinking like maybe Ray will get caught out, but no, it's that damage is coming through from the ultimate shell from Rock that really just set that whole thing in motion for Gen.G. Just looking back at that replay, even the infinite vastness wasn't enough to get out of there. That damage just being empowered by Ming. Clue, again, just being a fantastic support player.
Yep, and here's what's happening. Wawa, level 12. And it's really scary, right? G6 was in a position just now where he was actually looking for the backlines. He wanted to catch out Rock as well as Clue, bring them in with from the depth from below. But simply because Wawa was standing in front of him, there was a huge wall he could not cross. That the path was not allowed.
The path you shall not pass, as some people may say, right? I mean, that was definitely the motto there for Gen.G. Wawa all on his own going to take on the T. Whoa, gets one kill, but he is going to get taken down. So it is going to be Mitsuri that gets taken down, but that's a lot of their wave clear gone, right?
Yep, exactly. But you know what? I feel like Wawa is not farming gold, he's not farming EXP, he's farming clips at this point, right? He just wants the highlight clip, like, look guys, I caught the entire team.
Yeah, that was definitely huge here. Speaking of huge, is those minion waves, but they are going to get cut down to size by the side of Elevate. So still not quite down and out just yet. Elevate here. They're still looking to defend their last higher ground turret. I feel like once that falls, it's going to be a lot harder for them to come back. They just need to make sure they get some presence here or even try and take a team fight. What is Elevate's way in?
At this point, I don't know. Because there's not enough farm, right? So many things have to go right in order for Elevate to get a good position to win this fight. Death from below on all 5 members, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, the set cell. Does it connect? It lands onto Inuit, though, so at least got somebody the untargetableness
okay,
from
shut down.
The Hue 1, but we do get a shutdown onto Rock, so that's a great start for the side of Elevate to keep away Gen.G, but are they just going to wait for those Vanguards to come through to just try again, or are they going to wait for Rock to come back up in 20 seconds?
I think they can afford to wait, right? At this point, Elevate, they're just nursing a wound because, sure, they destroyed the Vanguard, the Overlord, and whatnot, but look, pressure is still mounting, right? There's another wave of Vanguards marching down, flying down the lanes. So Elevate, there's nothing else. The only thing now is how much can you steal away from the jungle of Gen.G? And not much by the looks of it because Ray is around the corner as well.
He is right there. He's on the pulse of the match. But saying that, Elevate are up to 37k, so they're only behind about 3k gold. I say only, but getting into the 12 minutes is not the place you really want to be, but they're definitely trying their hardest to fight back here.
Yep, they need to filter and funnel all the farm into Azar. Azar now has already shown he does have enough damage to be able to get the burst down onto players like Rock, right? But there's a number of challenges with that, right? Sure, you have the damage, but can you reach Rock? Rock needs to be out of position for you to be able to catch him. And until Clue is disconnected with the glide, there's no way you can kill him.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a hard task for the side. Maybe even a mission impossible here for Elevate as they're going into the higher ground turrets territory now, as well as the crystal. But Jizzik's looking like he's just trying to keep away that push into the farm lane, just trying to keep a lifeline available for his teammates.
Yep, he needs to buy so much time for his team. Every wave that he cuts is going to be of utmost importance here, but I think that is going to be short-lived. Jizik is going to get caught.
Oh no, he was hoping to try and get the pick off there onto Clue, but there's just so much damage there with Inuit and Rock all there. Just waiting for him.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. They need what, 6 minutes? Tempest. It needs to be a Tempest game for this to work in Elevate's favor, and it looks like they're out of time.
Out of time, but I mean, Gen.G are out of minions. They don't have anybody at the crystal just yet, but the Infinite Bastards does come through for Azar right now, but it is going to be Hyde getting taken down there by Rock once more, but Azar gets the kill onto Wawa. The Flaming Palms do connect, but that's a 2-2 trade, and when you're approaching the crystal, it's not exactly what you want on the side of Elevate. Game 2 maybe closing out here. They have no minion waves. They do now have the minion waves coming through, sorry, for Gen.G, but Jizzix is actually doing a fantastic job keeping Gen.G away from this crystal.
Yep, they bought so much time. A Jizzix, that sacrifice was definitely worth it. Now it's just Ray left alone. He can't do much at this point to push because there are no minions to support his cause at this point. Now Jizzix, he's going to try and chase in. If he can get the kill on Ray, that's a perk. And oh, he's going to try. Death from below does not hit the mark. He will be diving back into the pit and hopefully secure this Shadow Tyrant for himself. But bear in mind, Ray does have access to Dream Roam, but the support comes in. This will be a steal of a lifetime, but not going to happen for now.
Yeah, not going to happen. I mean, when you saw the set sail come through, it's kind of like, do you have that much confidence in your outsmite potential here against 3 of the enemy side? But it looked like Ray was just like, no, you can have the Tyrant, it's fine. But hey, if that happens again once more for Gen.G, they could be in trouble because all they need to do now for Elevate is just keep those waves pushed, get another one of those successful team fights in their favor, and they're going for some turrets.
Yep, 15 minutes already. So 5 more minutes before a Tempest status for the game, right? Elevate, they're counting on that. If they get a steal, they could buy some more time, but not going to happen. Rock secures it for the side of Gen.G, and now the light is dimming for the side of Elevate.
Yeah, the Flaming Palms do connect onto Ray, so just putting the damage onto the tankier sides of Gen.G is probably where Azar needs to be, but able to get out with scot-free, just not be able to just do damage, die, because as soon as like anybody like Azar or Mitsuru falls, I feel like that's when Gen.G will strike.
Yeah, and I think it's a really difficult position to not allow that to happen, right? Because they're not exactly very tanky. In fact, there's no traditional tank on the side of Elevate, and that's the risk they took with this draft, right? They wanted a little bit more burst, they wanted a little bit more control, but that's what you're giving in exchange. Your health bars. You don't have a big beefy boy or a shield to kind of stop the damage from coming in.
A bit of cat and chase there was well played by Hyde, but is it going to be enough for him to escape here? He does use the dash out from his first ability, to get out of the range of Gen.G, but Rock coming in here, laying down the damage onto Ivalice here, but is it going to be enough? Okay, a Jizzix into the backline here. Oh, he takes down Rock. It's actually Azar that gets the kill, but Clue gets the kill onto a Jizzix as well. So a 2-2 trade going into the 17-minute mark here. Azar's not done. He wants to get the Flaming Paws, but Ray is not your pal. He can soak up that damage.
He's just buying time.
He's
just buying time. They need to do it, right? This is a very peculiar position because if they manage to sustain until the 20-minute mark, all they have to do, okay, sounds a bit too simple, but just get the Tempest, right? And then they can turn the game around on its head. But so far, although it sounds very difficult, they are doing it. So Elevate, they're holding on, and they're really clawing their way back into this game. As the game transitions towards that final stage, final phase of Tempest Dragon's availability, you can see a Jizzix, he's hitting the mark already. 12,000, he does have quite a bit of damage. Right now it's about the synergy. Can they get the setup for the team?
Ooh, okay, so Death from below there is able to clean and claim the Azure Golem for the side of Elevate right now, which is probably for the better. It's probably just a little bit of revenge from that early game Azure Golem steal that happened to Elevate right now. But we do have the minions already pushing through onto all these lanes for Gen.G. They have the empowered minions. They just need to make sure they get a solid team fight, because right now, fair play to Elevate, they're holding off. They're holding on to a dream.
Yeah, but you know, this is a dream that's held by a threat because it is just a moment's notice. All they have to do on the side of Gen.G is, look, Wawa, if he gets the truth onto the likes of Elevate, it's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They need to make sure they keep Azar alive.
Nice check.
Try and keep Mitsuri alive, because there's a lot of damage between just those two heroes on the side of Elevate, and they have the gold lead. They just need to make sure they maintain that and use it. It's all good hoarding your wealth, but if you're not going to use it to your potential, what's the point in having it, right?
Yep, exactly. Set sail going to be placed down. They want to put a little bit more pressure. This is weird from Gen.G. They're in the lead. Why are they playing like that? Oh, hang on.
Maybe just trying to give it a little bit of give and take here, but it is Azar taking it all. He gets the kill onto Rock, so that's a lot of damage gone for the side of Gen.G. Wawa claims a Jizik, so there is no jungle on the side of Elevate. So these next neutral objectives cannot be claimed by the Smite. So it's going to take a little bit more for the side of Elevate to even claim those, but Ivalice is able to escape for now.
Okay, so benefit to Elevate, they have some decent wave clear, right? They have Azar, they have Mitsura. So that's a lot of wave clear ability on the side of Elevate. Now, the only thing is, I don't think Gen.G would want to overcommit and go for the Overlord. Now, they don't want that permanent debuff, right? Okay, it's not permanent, but yeah, they don't want a Primal Bond on their hands. So at this point, it looks like Elevate will hit the mark. They will last to that 20-minute mark. And this is our first Tempest game of the day.
First Tempest game of the day. I mean, I was at one point in this game too, Kindofu, I was saying, hey, this is a look note to Team Vitality. They're 8 minutes at the higher ground turret. No, we're staring there at the barrel of the gun at the 20-minute mark with the Tempest Dragon. Elevate really holding in here.
Yep, okay, look, it's gonna get better for Elevate. Hyde just purchased the Dragon's Rage. I just complimented you, do not throw that advantage away.
As Kim would normally say, play the map.
Yeah, they have to play the map, right? Right now, it is the toughest situation to be in because there are no T3s, waves are crashing, Tempest Dragon is available, and Gen.G have all of the advantage at this point. You have the dynamization on the side of Elevate, but they need to make something happen like a pick-off, or maybe just getting Rock out of the entire picture itself. Rock so far made a couple of mistakes, did get caught out a couple of times, and maybe that is the window in for the side of Elevate.
Maybe the Overton window is Rock being taken down by the side of Elevate, but right now we're seeing that they're just trying to keep these minions away, because if they allow the minions to push and then the side of Gen.G get this...
Oh my god!
Oh, Mitsuri with the crucial kill back through from Elevate. Is this going to be enough to get game 2 in their belt? It's definitely a start, as Ray is looking pretty low. Ray goes down. It is a Jizzix with a triple kill, and Mitsuri with a steal of a lifetime.
And that was a necessary steal. Look, they have the Tempest buff, they have the Tempest Dragons as well, and still they're on the back foot. That is how much of a disadvantage Elevate are at. So the fact that they got the steal, I mean, that was a lifesaver coming out from Mitsura. Unfortunately for the side of Elevate, this needs to happen more than once.
It does. I mean, are we going to get a second Tempest Dragon? Is that what you're trying to tell me here, Ken?
I'm not trying to tell you, I'm telling you. It is going to be a second Tempest until they break a tier 3 on the side of Gen.G. Elevate it's a race against time here.
It is a race against time. They're able to take the T1 into the mid lane, starting to make some moves and shaking the Gorge themselves into their favor is Elevate right now. They're 77k against 63. But at this point in the match, they're all going to be pretty much 6-slotted, all pretty much itemized. They're going to be doing some item changes like we see here with Mitsuri going for the Sage's Sanctuary just to get that second lifeline. But hey, this is the make or break part.
Has destroyed a tower.
Yeah, it also depends on how many Sage's Sanctuaries can you burn, right? Every single life point that you have is going to be of utmost importance. Inua suffering at the hands of Mr. Azar here. That nice Flaming Palms. He definitely has hit his stride. It is time for this Dragon to take main stage.
Yes, the Dragon does need to take the main stage here as well, but it's definitely played well by Elevate, it seems. They are just trying to push with the Tempest Vanguards. They are definitely trying to make the most of not having to go for a second Tempest Dragon, it seems. But right now, Jizzix is trying to do a bit of damage onto Ray, trying to bait him down. Goes their first high ground turret, so it's taken the matter of around about 14 minutes for Elevate to come back here with a higher ground turret compared to the first takedown for Gen.G. And they look like they're not going to stop here.
I think it's a good risk to take, right? Depending on how their positioning is like, right? If they can manage to get Rock out of the picture again, I think this game is pretty much done for. And Elevate, they would have completed one of the biggest comebacks of day one.
Oh, absolutely. No one saw this coming, especially with the fact that Elevate had such a bad time in game 1, the fact that they've managed to come back from no higher ground turrets for a good, like, at least 10 minutes of not having higher ground turrets, which is insane. Most teams could not do that. They would have just checked out at this point. But Elevate, for the home crowd there in Philippines, are going for it.
Yeah, and here we go. This is the second Tempest Dragon that's available on Gorge itself, but mistake maybe?
Oh, nice set sail. Does connect onto Clue and Wawa, but obviously no follow-up there. They do have to make sure they pay attention down into that farm lane. There is a minion wave that does actually get equalized by Gen.G's minion wave, but hey, Tempest Dragon again. Kin was not trying to say it. He was telling us that the fable of the second Tempest Dragon of day 1 of the group stages of Season 3 Invitational is here. And oh my god, Inu, he gets the Sage's Sanctuary wiped out, and then Mitsuru's like, boom, let's take the snipe from afar. But Azar is coming in with takedown onto Rock here for the fastness as well. Jizzix putting in the work. It is going to be Elevate coming back from such a far defeat in this game 2 to take it for themselves.
Yeah. As my principal used to tell me, right? You do it once, you do it well. You win that one big team fight, it is over. And the fans, they love it. Elevate definitely did put themselves at a higher level this time. Came back in the second game of a best of 5 series. I think we're in for a long one today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely what the home crowd needed, right? Was Elevate.